I went from being homeless just a few years ago to making $5,000 a day on average. And I teach thousands of entrepreneurs how to take what they already know and turn it into cash. The entire summer, I have been building a very valuable school. I call it summer school that teaches you exactly how to do what I'm doing. And I'm going to give it to you for free. So this is currently available in my Your First 5K club. You can click the link below to join it. That's free. But I'm putting it all here in one place so that you can study it. And within 2 hours or so, you'll have everything you need to get started. If you want to join me for more, I have my Lovable Income Challenge happening. It's an evergreen challenge, but it'll take you about 14 days to learn the skill that will help you make websites, landing pages, and other AI tools that you can sell to small businesses and coaches and other types of creatives for $300, $500, $1,000 or more. Some of my students have made 5,000, 10,000, or even more with this one skill. So I'm going to link to that below too. In the pinned comment or the description, you will find my Lovable Income Challenge information. Go ahead and join right now while the price is still low. Now, for the next 2 hours, please take notes, pay attention, and refer to this anytime you need. It's going to give you everything you need. If you like what you see, please do me a favor. The only thing I ask is that you subscribe. Welcome to module 1 of my summer school. Now, as you'll see here, when I was building this deck, I misspelled the word summer, but that lets you know that I was building it myself. So let's go here. Now, of course, I used AI because why wouldn't you use AI to help you these days? You have to. So we're going to build one money lane. How does that feel? It should feel good. Should feel good to you. If you keep saying the words or something similar to my offer is stale or I need a better offer, this module fixes that this week. This week. The fix isn't a better offer. The fix is one offer built right, pointed at the right person. Now, listen, this is probably going to be the most difficult thing for people to grasp. Not because they don't understand it. You understand one offer, one problem, one person. The thing is, all of us, including me, we all get shiny object syndrome where we want to do that thing over there. Or when we get something that works, we're like, well, maybe it'll work over here too. And this whole other thing. But I need you to focus. If you have taken the time to invest this time, these 90 days, into making your life different, making your life better, then follow the instructions. If the old way wasn't working, try this new way. And the new way for you is we're going to focus on these 90 days, no matter when you start, by the way, on one offer. One offer, as difficult as that may feel to you. You may feel limited. You may feel like, oh, what if this isn't the right offer and I miss out on a lot of money? The one offer is how everybody I know who's made money in the last 5 years, this is how they've done it. This is how I've done it. Now you may say, well, Arlan, you have more than one offer. You just described two on the last video. I say that when you get to a certain milestone, then you have the option to add the offer because ultimately you do want to have more than one offer. But look at your bank account and tell me what you feel about it. Does it look right to you? Do you have 6 or 7 figures in your bank account? Have you earned 6 or 7 figures from the offer already? If you have, then you can decide, okay, maybe I want to do a different offer. I'll tell you what, though, if you've made that much money from that offer, I bet you're going to keep going with it. But you have the option. If you haven't, that's why you need to lock in. Stop building everything all at once, right? It's a great movie. Everything Everywhere All at Once is a fantastic movie. Watch it if you haven't. But it's a terrible business model. Don't have 5 offers that are just disjointed and hopefully this person will like that and this person, I'll get them over there. Have one lane for one offer. And by the end of this module, you're going to have your one offer explained in one sentence, sold from one link. Okay, this is the part where I need you to take a screenshot. I need you to write it down. The best thing you can do is write this down. Have a notebook that you use for this sprint that you can come back to and look at. You might even want to take screenshots of that notebook and put it into AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or even Authority X Pro, in case something happens to the journal. But this is it. It's not just one or two things. It's 9 parts. I'm taking you to summer school, okay? We're digging in. So I'm going to read them off to you. The buyer. Who is the buyer, right? That's the part. That's the most important part. The name of the product. Is there a bonus? And you'll see in a moment there will be. The problem that you're solving. The price point. An urgency or lack thereof. An outcome, deliverables, and the pitch. Now we're going to go over each of these, but this is really what it comes down to. You can use my lab framework, lab framework, to help you with the higher kind of, 50,000 bird's eye view, to say, what have you learned, L, applied, A, and benefited from, B, the lab framework. You can pause this video and think through, what if I learned, applied, and benefited? For some people in this sprint, you may have just gone through my Lovable hackathon. So you may have learned how to build a Lovable page, applied it by building one, and then benefited from it because you either have your own page to promote or you've helped someone else with their page. That could be your offer for this 90-day sprint. You do not have to build a brand new offer if you're loving that one. Or you could have just done that for fun in order to have a page that you can now promote your other offer. But let's break it down. Let's say your offer is the Lovable page, the buyer, the name of the offer, the bonus, etc. Let's go through it. So who is the buyer? You're going to want to think about one specific person. And we don't mean one human. We mean one type of person, one specific person. And the way that you can get really granular with this and really dial in is if you can describe the person in one way, that's okay. That's kind of table stakes. If you can describe them in 2 ways, that's even better. And if you can describe them in 3 or more ways, now you have the buyer. So let's do an example. Let's say my buyer is men. Okay, well, that is very broad and that's going to be very difficult to promote to and to have a great product. But what if I then said men who want to run a marathon? That is very specific, even more so than men. And now we can start to figure out what would that offer be? What could help them run a marathon? And then that's only 2, but what's the third? What if we said men who want to run a marathon after 50? Well, now we are so dialed in that we can start to find that person over and over again. And we can get so granular about how we reached them, how we talk to them at large, what we build for them, the solution, even what bonuses we can make. That is what you want. You want to understand who they are. So do that exercise right now. Think about who you want to serve, not just 1 or 2 descriptions or descriptors, 3 or more. Then part 2, and please pause this as you need because this is this week's really deep dive training. So you want to have this by the end of the video. Part 2 is the painful problem. If it doesn't hurt, they won't pay. So if you think about a man who is over 50 who wants to run a marathon, there's a very specific type of person. He probably has wanted to run a marathon for years. He's watched them happen. He's maybe even signed up for one, but chickened out, or whatever the phrase, right? It just didn't work out for him. Maybe he had health problems, maybe something, or maybe he was in a situation where it just wouldn't make sense to do it. But now this particular person is in a place in their mind where they have to run a marathon. It is keeping them up at night. If you can hone in on someone who has a pain point, I desperately need to run a marathon, but I haven't been off my couch in years, then they're willing to pay you if you have a solution for them. So, what is that painful problem that you can help someone with? It doesn't have to be a certain degree of pain, by the way. Your thing could be, let's go back to the hackathon where we have the Lovable uh, landing page. And if you're not familiar with this at all, just go to arlanshackathon.com and you'll see what I'm talking about. The pain point for that person could be, we've identified that they're salon owners in the South who don't have a social presence, right? There's three ways we've described them. Their pain point then could be, I don't have enough customers. Or their pain point could be, my customers don't know when I have deals, or they don't come in very often. Well, what if you could say, well, I'll build you a site that really showcases what you do in a beautiful way, and we get you more customers to come in. They have the pain point, you have a solution, which is that promised outcome. They go from stuck to solved. So it needs to be specific, believable, and time bound. You might say, you don't even have to do a dollar amount, and I wouldn't recommend that because that's tough. Tough to say, I'm going to double your leads or I'm going to double your revenue. Don't do that. You could say, I will help you get fresh leads into your salon over the next 30 days with my landing page. That's one way you could say it. Right? You're not saying I'm gonna 3x your revenue, and then they have to look at 30 days from now, they haven't 3x the revenue and they're looking for a refund. You could simply say, you're gonna have new leads, fresh leads, and then you find your ways to help them do that. Then it needs to have a simple name. If you think about your first 5K, for instance, what does that conjure up? You don't have to know me to know what this is about. It's about your first $5,000. And the more simple, the better. The more straightforward, the better. And if it has the result in the name and is easy to say, you're off to the races. I'll give you a great example. We were talking to Crystal inside of one of our calls, our Tuesday calls that we have with 360 Pass. Every Tuesday I talk on these calls. And she showed her school, which is the platform you're on right now. She showed her school, which was an amazing school for introverts who want help with marketing. I believe it was called Easeful Visibility. I believe that's what it was called. And although it's a beautiful name, it wasn't easy to understand or say fast. It was sort of like more ethereal. And I said to her, because she asked, like, what would you do here? I said, actually, I would put this into your classroom as a module, a wonderful module name, but I would call on the outside of the school marketing for introverts. And she was a little reticent to do it because she had built so much of a brand on easeful visibility. But I said to her, would you rather have a nice sounding name that was clever, but a tenth of the potential customers? Or would you rather have more customers who need what you have to offer, understanding you, and then you get them into the classroom, and then you can use your jargon and your more clever names? So she said, yeah, let's do it. I said, try it for 7 days. The same day she posted inside of Your First 5K, you could still find it by looking up her name, Crystal. The same day she said, I've changed it, and it's already #1 on School Discovery if you type in the word introvert. Incredible. So now, because School Discovery gets 1 million visitors per day, according to school, and people are going to type in the word introvert more often, she's going to be top of mind because it's simple, it's easy to say, and it hints at the result, if not says it directly. The price. So you're just going to pick a number and you're going to double that number. This is something that I've seen happen in real life, and I love it. The number, you're probably charging too little. You're probably undercutting yourself and underselling yourself. So you want to put a number out that's a little scary. With our hackathon, I said we're going to sell these web pages for $300. A lot of people were scared. I don't know if I can do that. I've never sold anything like that. I've only worked for someone else. I get paid by the hour. Ooh, what if they could do it themselves? I don't know. Multiple people every single day now say, I sold one. I sold it. And not only that, they say, now I'm selling mine for 500. I even know people who sell theirs for 1,000 because the value is more important than the price. What are they actually getting from this? If we go back to that problem that they had and the solution that you're giving them, what are they actually getting? They're not necessarily just getting a page that they could, yes, go and learn how to use Lovable and prompt. They're getting a highly converting mechanism. They're getting an audit of what is wrong with their page. Because remember, if you may remember this, if you looked at the hackathon or if you looked at my 40-minute free tutorial, which is on the hackathon page, arlanshackathon.com, I say this $300 bundle should have an audit, potentially a one-on-one call with you, the website itself, and a Loom video walking them through what you just made for them. So it's a lot they're getting. And the audit is really important because a lot of people don't know that they have a problem. They don't know what the problem is. They're not aware of it. So they don't even know how to fix it because they don't know that they have the problem. So this is invaluable. So your pricing, if you're selling things for $10, $20, $30, if you're selling things by the hour, I want you to be audacious this summer. I want you to say, and this could be winter depending on where you are, but June through August, I want you to be audacious. I want you to have potentially one offer. Maybe you have two versions of it, one that is more intensive, and that whatever that is, I want you to just price it at something you never think anybody would pay for it, because you're going to get surprised one day in the best way. Now, the deliverables, part 6. The deliverables are, what do they get? How many of it? How do they receive it? And what happens if they're stuck? What kind of support do they get afterwards? So this is something that you want to build out. We just talked about what the deliverables could be for that Lovable audit package. Could be an audit, meaning if you do the Lovable hackathon, by the way, which is included in 360, the replay and the prompts. The third prompt, so the first prompt of day 2, lets you do an audit. It does an audit for you, essentially, that you can give to that customer. So you can build your own audit. You can use ChatGPT to help you walk through an audit. You can use my prompt inside of the hackathon to build an audit. If you have Authority X Pro, you can make an incredible playbook that is in itself an audit. And then an audit, if you're not familiar, is just simply telling someone what their situation is currently and how it could be improved. This is where you are now, and this is what I think could happen. Okay, an audit is really like taking a look at what the real situation is and kind of giving you like a no-nonsense look at it. Okay. So you could have that audit, you could have the landing page, and you could have the Loom video that explains, okay, I'm walking you through your page right now for 5 minutes. This is a powerful offer with powerful deliverables. And that's just one offer. What could your offer be? That could be your offer if you can't figure out the rest of it. Another offer could be that you do 4 one-on-one calls for 30 minutes in 1 month, and you hand somebody a 30-day playbook that helps them at the end of it, helps them know what to do with their life in the next 30 minutes. Could be a business to business situation. You could be teaching someone how to sing. You could be teaching someone how to drive. Whatever it could be, maybe. You could have a salon owner that you made a website for, And you also give them a 30-day playbook of how to get more leads. Now, how do you do that? Again, you can do it for free with the free version of ChatGPT, or you could go over to Authority X Pro and have it build it for you, especially if you have the certified version of Authority X Pro, which gives you client dashboards, client workspaces for you to build for each of your clients. It's crazy. It's really, really cool. So there's a lot of options. The less money you have to spend on resources, the more creative and clever you need to be. And simplify it. Because if right now you're saying to yourself, I don't have any money, I can't do Authority X Pro, you're missing the point. Your deliverable and your offer could be one phone call, one Zoom call where somebody pays you $100 and they pay you $100, you work with them for 45 minutes or 60 minutes or 2 hours, and you help them with something. I used to sell calls for $30 each for an hour. And I would help people with their blogs because I had a blog and I was broke and I needed to eat. So I would get on a call years ago and they would pay me $30 and I would walk them through how to set up their blog or to get, maybe a $200 advertisement or so. I would just walk them through it. I didn't have any fancy clothes. That's why I had a hard time getting regular work. I didn't have a home address. I was homeless, but I would get on those calls and people would pay me $30 to be able to eat. So you have a potential offer in you. Now there's a bonus you could give to surprise and delight and over deliver. I love to do this all the time. And it doesn't have to be too crazy. In fact, you don't want to do anything that's going to cost you a lot of money or any money. You want it to be something that scales, but that is nice. So let's say, for instance, you sell the Lovable page. And in that $300 offer with the audit and the loom, I did say, hey, you can give them an AI tool too. What if that was your bonus? They didn't even know it was coming. So they get the page once they say yes to it and they give you all the resources that you need to put into it. Then when you deliver it to them, hey, it has a calculator on there. I gave you a calculator that your visitors can use to see how much it's going to cost them to get their drywall so that they can, be more willing to work with you because they can see the savings. That's just one example. Bonus could be a bonus call. You don't have any of this. You can't get Lovable. Do a bonus call. Do something that surprises and delights. And the way that you figure this out is to say, what would I want? What would be surprise and delight for me if I were building this? Because what you're working on is what you recently figured out how to do, or more, or even in the past, figured out how to do. So what would have helped you during that time? Then you want to talk about urgency, real urgency, not fake, not lies, but you do want to create urgency. This is a sales psychology 101. You want there to be some time pressure. So many times things have changed for me with an offer. Like I'll have an offer out and people will think it's great, but they won't do anything about it. And if I come back a day later and I'm like, this is not working, and I say, look, I'm just going to close this up in a week. I don't have time to not. Well, guess what? People are like, well, I better get in there. I better buy it. It's being closed in a week. So you can create urgency by saying, I'm only going to do this for a certain amount of time. But here's the most important part. Do that. Don't just say, oh, at the end of the 7 days, I was just kidding. You got to do it. But there's an urgency component to making people move. Like even this 90-day sprint, it's free for you. So I'm not selling you on it. But when I first started it, I was going to sell it for $497. And I'm like, I'm going to have like a week long, maybe a 5-day period where people can get in. And and on top of the urgency, I had a number constraint where I was only going to let 90 people in. So there's going to be $497 for 90 people, 90 days. Then there was going to be an upsell component. So 6 figures. And that would have worked because it's worked 100,000 times for me because you have urgency only available to get in for these few days before we get started. And there's only so many spots available. So either this time period or the number of spots go away. You can do that. And guess what? It even helps you. Because imagine like your offer is a phone call. It's a Zoom call. Well, you can only do so many calls per week without hating it. You have life, you have a life. So you saying, not just knowing on the back end, I'm only going to do 10 calls a week, you saying that in your marketing, in your content, which we'll talk about soon, on the landing page, I only do 8 of these per week or per month. You got to get in where you fit in. Same thing with the Lovable page. I only build 5 of these per month or 5 of these per one per day. So you really look at how many do I want to do of these? Put the price there. See how much that's going to make. Is it going to fit in with how much you want to make? Dot, dot, dot. Remember that there's upsells and say it. Promote that. I don't see enough people doing this. I don't see anybody doing it. I mean, really, the people who make the most money do this. But I don't see a lot of people who are just getting started doing this. And this will be your edge. On your landing page that promotes your own offer, say, I limit this to 3 per week for consistency and for quality. So you need to get in now and then mean it. Now, what is that one sentence that describes your offer? I help this type of buyer get this type of outcome in this amount of time without this pain. I help men over 50 run their first marathon within 90 days without having to go back to the gym or without having to take supplements or without spending a fortune. You see? I want you to pause this and write this out. And when you write it out, it can change. We're going to go through so many things. It can change, but it needs to be one offer. Either put it on a whiteboard like I have in front of me so that it's just always staring you back in the face, or print it out or write it somewhere, put on a sticky note. I got sticky notes everywhere. Have it as a North Star. If you can't say it in one sentence, you can't sell it from one link. You hear me? And we're going to talk a lot about having conversations, but you're also going to have an ability to sell from people just seeing a landing page. But if they don't understand what they're getting, they're going to bounce. They're not going to sit around and describe it and explain it to themselves. So this week, I want you to have all 9 parts written down, like we said before. Your one sentence pitch, one link people can buy from. These 3 things. So you're going to write down all the parts and what the answers are to those parts. Rewind to catch them. You're going to write down your one sentence pitch and please use it as a North Star. And then you're going to have one link that people can buy from. Now, if you need to or want to, you can watch this video again. That's what's so special about it. You can watch it again and catch the little pieces you didn't get before. Now, remember, at Authority X Pro, you get 24 hours for free as a free trial. This will help you build your money lane faster, and it'll feel like you're building it with me directly and privately. If you want to get certified with AXP, it comes with client workspaces, meaning everything you do for yourself inside of AXP, you can do for clients. Really, really special. And the certification is 6 weeks of training that shows you exactly how to do it. We're having a great time in there. Now, go build your money lane. Welcome to module 2 of your summer school. We are going to build proof, evidence, testimonials, etc. Proof is one of the most important things that you have the power to build and to use to get customers. I need you to understand this, okay? This is powerful mindset shift moment for you. If you have never taken someone's testimonial, comment, email, text, verbal confirmation, if you've never taken that, and turned it into some sort of asset that you brag about, today is the day you start. Here's the truth. Proof is no longer optional. For your buyer, proof is the entire game, it's the whole game. Proof, proof, proof. So stop saying, well, I'm just starting, so I don't have proof that I can do this. I'm just starting, dot, dot, dot. Proof comes with every action. You just haven't been catching it. So I'm going to show you different ways that qualify as proof, the receipts, if you will. Proof is anything that says this worked to a future buyer. Okay, this is a screenshot moment. This is a writing down in your journal moment. You could even screenshot this, upload the screenshot to ChatGPT and say, what do these words say? List them out for me, and then copy that into something. But you want to have this in your journal. I highly recommend, like I said in module 1, that you have a journal for this sprint. So you can go to it, and over the 9 modules, once you're done with your notes, you're going to have a very, very cool asset for yourself to go and refer to. Let's take a look at some of these. A screenshot, somebody saying something nice about what you did. A screenshot. Every one of these, by the way, I have done and you may have seen me do. You may not even notice that it was this proof moment, but it was. Inside of your first 5K, if anybody says, oh, I love 360 Pass. Oh, I love Authority X Pro. Oh, I had a personal win inside of your first 5K. For free, I learned how to make money. I'm taking screenshots of several of those and I'm putting them on my about page on school for the membership itself. I'm doing videos on YouTube where I show my screen and show all of these testimonials. I'm posting them, reposting them. I'm putting them on Instagram, on LinkedIn. I'm putting them inside of decks, slide presentations, webinars. The list goes on and on. My sales pages, of course, I have proof, proof, proof. Go to authorityxpro.com. Look at the sales page, the landing page when you're signed out, and just scroll and scroll and scroll and look at how much proof I have there. It's nowhere near how much real proof there is, but I add to it as often as I can because this is the number one way that people know you are worth paying attention to. It helps you stand out. So a first sale, if you get that first sale, if you already have it, let's talk to the person that you did the sale with and get some information from them. Ask them, are you willing to give me a testimonial? Are you willing to just let me say what you said to me on that call yesterday? I don't have to put your name on it if you don't want me to, or I can if you allow me to. Can I do a video? This is what I do all the time. You probably have seen me do this. I'll see somebody post that they had a win with me or that they love a product. I'll jump on a Zoom with them. And the next thing you know, there's a 12 to 20-minute video interview with them. That is proof. Real people getting real results. So when's the last time you did this with someone you got a result with? If you did a 10-minute Zoom video or Google Meets video that you saved with one of your customers, no matter what the price point, $20 to $20,000, you could put that video on YouTube. You could put that video on LinkedIn. You could then take the URL and put it into Opus, OPUS, clip, CLIP. And in about 10 minutes, it would turn that clip into 10 or 15 short clips that you could put on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, LinkedIn Shorts, Threads, Substack, and so on. You don't have to put them on all these different ones. I'm not saying that, and we'll get into deep dive on content. But these things are so powerful. You put that same video on your website. So let's say you have a Lovable page that you made for yourself. You need to add a video of someone saying something great about you. Either you're interviewing them or you ask them to take their phone and do a 1 to 2 minute testimonial. People love doing that, by the way. If they don't want to do it, don't make them. You can give them the option. But if they want to, you could say, if you do a testimonial, you'll be front and center. You don't want to bribe people with testimonials. I know some people do like a $10 thing if you do a testimonial. I don't like to bribe people. It's either they want to do it or they don't, in my view. But what some people do like is like being featured. Like I want to be featured on your site, and you'll see it. You'll see it. See it with authorityxpro.com. You'll see what I'm talking about. This could be your first lead, even. Doesn't even have to be a customer. It could be a before and after that you show, a Loom reaction, a client quote, a booked call, something that you're bragging about. Another way you can do this is this case study. I do these videos all the time where I'm not necessarily interviewing the person, but I am showing you what happened. I did this with Chan Lee. I did this with Daisy. I did this with Claudia. I'll say, we have this win that happened in the membership. Let me show it to you. Let me show you where they were. Here's a post that shows you where they were. Now here's a post of how they feel today. And let me walk you through their website. You can see what it looked like before. These are things you could do. You could do a case study of a website that used to be their website and your makeover. Proof, evidence, receipts. You probably already have this. You probably already have it. Now, somebody DMs you and says, man, this helped me so much. What I do, and it gets easier to do this. I know at first it could feel a little daunting, but what I do is I say, thank you so much. Would you mind if I shared this publicly? You don't have to say where and when and how. You can just say, would you mind if I shared this publicly, or would you rather I didn't? You could even say, I can also share it anonymously if you want. So you give them kind of three options. Don't share it at all, totally share it with my name, or share it, but don't share the words, but not really me, kind of blur me out. If you ask that a few times, you're going to get a yes from someone, and that yes can turn into real money, real dollars. Here's your assignment. You're going to collect 10 proof assets in the next 30 days, no matter when you're seeing this video. Don't worry about what month it is, what day it is. Don't let little silly things stop you from doing this. 10 proof assets in 30 days. Okay? All you have to do is go back to this page and you see what kind of options you have. You can look at my pages and how I do things on YouTube. Go to itsaboutdamntime.com. That's how you can find my YouTube videos and my channel. You can see the different people I interview who have worked with me on Authority X Pro or 360 Pass or Your First 5K for free. I'm always bringing people in. And by the way, it's not just for paid things. I will do a proof point for Your First 5K because I want more people to be in it. So you could do this much effort for something that's free that will pay off in the long run. So are you up to this challenge? Are you up to collecting 10 proof assets in 30 days? Here's a good mixture if you're not sure exactly what to do, but you don't have to do this. You could do 3 testimonials, 3 screenshots, 2 before and after examples, 1 Loom walkthrough, 1 written mini case study. This is a great mixture. But the next 30 days, you're building this. Now, if you want to use this on YouTube, we're going to have a whole module, maybe 2, I think there's definitely 1, there may be a second one, about YouTube. We're going to go in on YouTube, okay? But this is just how you can think about it a little bit. Stop only making teaching content necessarily on YouTube. Make proof content. Proof content titles that work. I rebuilt this coach's landing page in Lovable. She got her first client from this $300 page. I used 1 prompt to build a lead magnet in 20 minutes. Here's why this page is not converting. That's a great one, right? I fixed a broken offer in 5 minutes. Now, you don't have to show all of the behind the scenes of how you're doing it, right? You don't have to show them how the sausage is made necessarily. Oh, I'm using Lovable. Oh, I did this in 5 minutes. But you could do a case study that says, hey, this page wasn't converting and I fixed it, and show why it wasn't converting and that you fixed it and that the person was happy with you. That's it. You don't have to say how you fixed it or what you did. So if you notice something, every title shows a result, Rewind this and pause it if you didn't catch that the first time. So if you have none, zero, no receipts whatsoever, guess what? Here's the thing. You can't count yourself out because I got a solution for you. I will not allow you to count yourself out. Start now. Every reply when in DM starts counting today. What if you say, I don't have any of those? That's the whole point. I don't have these things. We are in the business in these 90 days, and especially in these 30 days. We are in the business of collecting receipts, proof, evidence that we are the bomb. The way you do this is you do something great for other people and get them a result. So one way you could do this is start selling now. Maybe your prices are a little lower than they would be. So you can do a discount. You can do a special to get the first few people in just so you can do what you need to do. Or this is important. So I'm going to take this down for a second. Or you can do it for free for the first 1, 2, or 3 people. Whatever your offer is, do it for free. If you don't feel like you're going to have paid customers anytime soon, do it for free. You say to them, this normally costs $497. I will do it for you for free. All I ask in return is that you give me a testimonial at the end. Or all I ask in return is that you record a 10-minute interview with me for my assets, for my social. Some people are going to say yes to that because they're getting the thing for free. Some people are going to just do it because they're your friends and they want to help you. We're going to talk about warm traffic and who to reach out to, but I just want you to know this part is that everything that's going through your mind right now that's telling you this can't be done is all bull. It can be done. That's the whole point. You're going to do things either for free to get the testimonials and the proof and the experience to feel more confident. You're going to sell it for less, or you're going to sell it at full price and just go in thinking about how do I get this testimony now. If you already have some, which a lot of people do, you need to brag more. You need to promote, you need to repost, restack, and do it weekly. Add to this weekly. Have an entire folder that's just bragging rights. I helped this person, I did that. It doesn't even have to be from someone who paid you. It could just be from someone you helped that is related to the offer. Don't do it for something that's not related to the offer. But if you have helped someone for free in the past, a friend, a family member, use it because then you'll use that evidence to get more customers whose evidence will help you get more customers and so on and so forth. So if you start today and you have, let's say you have 2 pieces of evidence and that helps you get 1 new customer. So now you have 3 pieces of evidence because that customer lets you. Then those 3 pieces over time get you 5 new customers. So now you have 8 or 7 because they let you. And then the 7 pieces of content or 7 pieces of evidence helps you get another 20. Do you see what I'm saying? Over time, it's just going to be a wall of brag. And the more you have, the more you will sell. That's why when you go to authorityxpro and you look at all of the testimonials I have, I'm going to have more the next time you see it because I'm not going to stop adding testimonials. I'm never going to stop adding testimonials to that page because the more proof you have, the more money you make. But I don't want to brag. Okay, what did I just say? Do you not want money? Sharing proof is not bragging. It's letting your future client know you exist. It's letting your future client know that you're the real deal and that out of the thousands of options they have in the world, you're someone worth taking a look at. This is why it's important that you do this. Proof compounds. Like I said, the stack does the selling for you. The more you have, the more powerful it is. It feels more and more. If you saw a page that 2 companies did the exact same thing, and one company had 0 testimonials and one company had 5 testimonials, which one would you be more willing to take a chance on? The second one. Now, if you saw a page that had 5 testimonials and another that had 50 testimonials, which one would you be willing to take a chance on? The second one, because you're like, they have more experience. They have more people saying that they did a great job. This many people can't be lying. This is amazing. The more evidence, the more chance you have to sell. So if you want to use AXP, authorityxpro.com, to help you with this for 24 hours, you get it for free. If you haven't used your trial yet, you get it for free. If you already have a AXP, go over there right now and do this. Use it to package the proof you already have. You could even say, I don't have any proof. What do I do? It'll tell you. If you want to help others build their proof, get the certification. As I mentioned before, you get client workspaces. So you can actually help your clients build their authority, build their proof, do something for them as a deliverable. It's very, very cool. Go catch the proof and brag, brag, brag. Welcome to module 3 of summer school inside of your first 5K. Buckle up, take notes, add this to that notebook that we've been using, and let's go. So, Arlan's Authority Playbook. You may know that that is the name of my new book, Arlan's Authority Playbook. And I'll put a link below so you can grab it. When you get my playbook, it's a full book. It's my 4th book. Very proud of it. When you order it, you get the physical copy, which is it's beautiful, and it has like a very cool material so that it feels really nice. You get that in 2 to 3 weeks. And then you immediately get the download for the audio version and the ebook version. And you get a playback of Your First Million Live 2026. So you get all of that when you order. You get free shipping. Did I mention that? You get a lot of stuff just for that one price. Okay, so order that. But this is about what what the book is about in general. Because everything that we've learned so far in modules 1 and 2 lead to this, okay? So I want you and you want you to become the go-to person in your niche so you can get paid and build the life you deserve. What does authority really mean? It means being the person people go to. Doesn't have to do with what title you have at work, if you have a degree or what those degrees are, or getting permission to be this person. You get to claim it brick by brick. So every move that you make is a brick in this wall. Every piece of content you produce, every customer you get, and every time someone gets a result because of you. It's very important that we go back to thinking about results for our customers and even results for people who never pay us. In fact, think about what I'm doing right now. I am building authority by doing this free course, summer school. Even if 95% of the people who look at this video will never buy anything from me, because I'm building the brick in this wall. There are 5 pillars of authority: content, your body of work, meaning everything that you do, the results, your presence, and time, and they stack on each other. Authority compounds like interest. Like when you put $1 into a bank account that has interest, that money adds money to it. Interest is made. It's a very cool, interesting thing that kind of changed my life. It's about investing, and it's not about putting money into the bank. It's about putting these other things that we talked about into your bank so that they not only are in the bank as bricks, but they compound. Their value compounds. You have this 12 to 18 month window that if you use, you'll be ahead of 99% of people. And this is what I talk about in the book. I go into detail about this. So we're going to focus on your four authority lanes. Again, the book dives deep into each of these, and you get the audio version and the ebook version when you order the physical version. So right now, after this video, you could have that information in your ear. We're going to talk about YouTube, AI, sales, and community. First, YouTube. YouTube is the foundation. It's one of my favorites. YouTube wins because one video can find you for years. What does that mean? One video can find you for years. It means that as a viewer can see a video that came out 7 years ago, 3 years ago, 1 year ago, and still watch it. YouTube is putting your videos out into the world 24/7, 365 days a year, not just the day you publish. It builds trust faster than any other platform that I know because people are spending time with you. Time was that that fifth stack earlier in the deck. Time. Do not underestimate this. If you are on module 3 and you took module 1 and module 2, you've gotten to know how I teach. Hopefully you're building trust in me and you're getting to know me a little bit better. That's because you spent time with me. Now imagine you have that out into the world talking about your niche, about how you can help people, about the problems they're having, and they're with you and they're stacking, stacking, stacking. It feeds your offers, your community, your everything. And search plus suggest plus watch time equals that compounding. People can search for a certain topic and find you, or they can be suggested your video depending on the algorithm thinks that they're the right viewer. And then if they spend any amount of time with you beyond the Instagram reels, beyond the TikToks, if they spend a few minutes to a few hours to a lot of hours with you, it's game over. Now, I've published 4 books, including Arlan's Authority Playbook. 4 books in the last 6.5 years as of this recording. You can publish a book's worth of content every 7 to 14 days. This is how you would do that. You make an hour-long video once per week. Now, you don't have to do an hour long. Yours can be 8 minutes. It can be 15 or 20. But you could conceivably do that. I do that. It takes me about 2 years per book to get them out from the time I decide I want to do it to the time it's out into the world. Now, the last 2 books, because I did them on my own, took far less than that. But really, I publish a book's worth of content every couple of weeks on YouTube. These are the mechanics on YouTube that matter. This is what sets people apart from having an account that they upload to that becomes their storage to an account that people actually watch. Thumbnails, which are the pictures those photos, images that are on videos that catch your attention. The title of your video is very important. The hook of your video, which is the first few seconds, the first few words that are said, or the first images people see, and timing of when you post, what part of the day, what it has to do with what's going on in the world, all of that. From viewer to customer, the channel does the selling. It's really, really special how much YouTube can replace sales or just act as your salesperson. Then AI. So we have YouTube. Again, you can go deep into those topics with the book. And of course, we're going to do that here inside of our future modules inside of summer school. So don't worry. But now we have AI, artificial intelligence. AI is your new co-founder. Got to tell you, it's not replacing you. It's now joining you as a co-founder. The 3 I use the most that are not mine, because I use mine the most: ChatGPT, Claude, Lovable. Now, I use authorityxpro.com, where you can get a free trial every single day because it's that good. ChatGPT, your brainstorming partner that never sleeps. You can use it for first drafts, for headline ideas, for outlines, for 10 ideas in 10 seconds. Think about this if you only use ChatGPT for YouTube. It would change your game on YouTube. But you can use ChatGPT for almost anything. Claude, this is your more thinking partner for deeper work. So for long documents, nuance, strategy, and matching your voice for writing and for speaking. Claude is going to be more nuanced. And then Lovable, you build almost anything you can imagine. You type in a few words, sentences, or paragraphs, and you get a working page in 30 minutes. You actually get the first draft of that page in about 5, and then you work with it and you can create more. Now, there's a lot of great training about Lovable inside of this classroom. So if you go to AI for Business, there's training, and there's also other things. Look up the word Lovable in the search button above, the search space above, Lovable, but spelled this way, Lovable, and you'll see what we've been posting. Lots of money making tips. AI is the gap between where you are and where you could be. Please take a moment to understand that. Pause this. Sales, lane 3. So sales, obviously very important. This is how you make money. Sales in general is just conversation. Sales is just a conversation. Your next sale is a conversation away. Confidence isn't personality, it's product knowledge. I used to have terrible stage fright. I could not speak in front of more than 5 people at a time. Now I speak on stages. I've spoken in front of 20,000 people before. I get paid a lot of money to speak all over the world. And what changed, a lot of things changed, but what changed, I go through every step in a chapter in my first book. It's About Damn Time. So if you want to learn more about that, I also have stage fright, a video here in the classroom in the, what is it? I forgot the mindset section. Go into the mindset section and look up that if you have any stage fright. But what the biggest thing that I figured out was that it's like I know the information. And if I just feel prepared and confident going in with the information, then I don't even have to be big and bold in how I talk. As long as I know my stuff and I also know when to say that I don't know what the answer is. That's what changed everything about me. Being able to accept $50,000 speaking gigs and be flown all over the world. And so you can apply that to this for your confidence in general. It's not that you just will never know. It's that you just need to learn it. And once you learn it, you'll have the product knowledge, and then you won't be as you'll have more confidence. When you know your offer cold, when you know it left and right, you stop sounding like a script and you start sounding like the authority. People ask me, how do you post so much on YouTube? You talk for like 28 minutes of video 5 times a week. You don't seem like you're looking at a script. Most times I'm not. I don't ever look at scripts. Sometimes I'll look at notes or outlines, but I can just riff on something because I have gained all this information and knowledge and hopefully wisdom and insight because I just put myself in the position to do stuff. I couldn't just do this from learning. I had to implement, which is why I say during our summer school, you need to spend 50% of the time learning in the summer school and 50% of the time doing, implementing. Now, your stand store, which we talk about a lot here in your first 5K, is like your vending machine. It's one link you can send to people, stand.store/your name or some term. You can give them one offer and it's open 24 hours a day. Promote like nobody is watching because most people aren't. Now I'm going to go back to this and tell you something. So do you know Alex Hormozy? Have you heard of him? Alex Hormozy made $100 million in 72 hours, August of 2025, with his book launch and his upsells. And He has millions of followers across platforms, including like tons of followers on YouTube, which is very hard to do as an info person. He said that he was walking through the streets of Vegas where he lives. And he lives in a high rise, multi-million dollar penthouse. He is a very wealthy person and he is everywhere. He posts like thousands of times across multiple things all the time socially. He said he was walking through the streets of Vegas and every once in a while he knows that every 5 minutes someone's going to stop him and take a picture because his people know him. And he's like bulky, so he kind of stands out. He said that happened. 30-minute walk, he was walking through. And every time that's happened, he was talking to a fan. So he was like, hey, man, are you coming to my book launch? Every time. And they said, what book launch? Every time. Now, this man spent $4 million on Facebook ads for the book launch. He was everywhere. He had more than 20,000 affiliates, including me. And I won the contest because I was number 14 out of 20 something thousand. He had all of that. And even his strongest fans didn't know about the book launch because some people are going to see the stuff online and some people aren't. This happens to me all the time. I assume, oh yeah, you're in my inner circles. You must have seen that video I put out about this topic, and I'll say it. And it's like, I didn't see it because people have lives. So people are catching it here and catching it there. So that's why you need to promote more. Does that make sense? Let me know. I know I'm going to put a post below that you can comment on. Let me know if that makes sense to you. Lane 4, the most important is community. Lane 4, build the room that they never want to leave. This is why school is so important and building comments and having people talk to each other. It's why I built the accountability matcher that you have available to you here in summer school in your first 5K. If you haven't used it yet, go use it. It's going to help you find 1 or 2 or 3 people to work with so that you have accountability with each other. People are already meeting each other, talking to each other on Zoom. It's wonderful. So why does this matter? Well, you get recurring revenue, not one-off sales when you have a community like on school. Members sell new members for you. So people are going out and saying, you got to join, you got to join. And the more you do that, the more people will say you have to join, and it just grows and grows and grows. There are several books, business books about this. One's called Contagion. There's a few of them. Malcolm Gladwell has one. It's all about you get 5 people to see what you're doing, and then you get those 5 people, 2 of them bring in 1 person. So now you have 7 people, and then 1 person brings, a couple people bring, you have 9, then you have 15, then you have 30, and then it just keeps going on and on and on. And you're doing the same amount of work, and it's growing even more so than it did on day 1. So now you're leveraged. Now, also your authority gets reinforced daily. Once again, look at this as an example. Go to the posts that we have, go to the different curriculum that I have here. My YouTube channel brings people in, and now we have more than 30,000 people who are continuously reinforcing that this is the place to be, but my content and my help is continuously growing and helping people. So even if I take a day off and I don't even come into the group, which won't happen because I love it. But even if I needed to, like I was on a cruise or I was sick or anything, this group is going to keep going without me because it's not about just me. It's about us. This is something you can do yourself, even if it's 30 people, not 30,000. And then wins compound publicly. Go over to our posts. Click on the category of personal wins. I want you to do this. This is actually something I want you to do as homework. Click on personal wins category at the top of the page on our posts. You will see hundreds of personal wins. You'll see pages and pages and pages of personal wins. those continue to happen. You'll see them from a year ago, you'll see them from a day ago. That is powerful. So YouTube feeds AI, AI feeds sales, sales feeds community, and community feeds YouTube. It's a flywheel, y'all. My favorite thing. This feeds, and it keeps going even when you are not there. You don't need permission to become the authority. You just need to start. And then talk about it. Promote yourself. I want you to try Authority X Pro for free for 24 hours, and you can run a play from the book with me. What you learn about the book, you can do everything you learn about the book. It's called Authority Playbook. Authority X Pro was named after the book because it does everything. You can also have the certification if you would like to go even further. You get to have client dashboards, client workspaces, which help you with your clients so you can make more money every single month. You can go from 0 to 1,000, 2, 5, 10, or more per month with the certification. The day is today. One repeatable offer, tangible, fast, and easy for the buyer to understand. We're going to do a $300 AI-powered landing page fix. Not just an audit, not just advice, a real asset they can use the day you hand it over. So here's the promise you're going to make to them. I'll build you a clean landing page and one simple digital tool in 48 hours so people understand what you offer and take the next step. I'm going to do a 48-hour turnaround. This beats the audit-only method, which is a great method for beginners and advanced, to be honest, but it beats it by a country mile because advice on its own is forgettable. An asset is tangible. They'll be using it over and over again. They'll remember you when they do. So if you were to only do an audit, which again is not a bad thing, but you're going to see how to supercharge it. It's useful. It's helpful. A one-on-one call is in fact one of the first things I teach people how to do. But the client pays you for advice and a to-do list that they still have to do. How many times have you worked with someone, you told them what to do, and then they just didn't do it? You give them a list of a diagnosis, fixes, homework for the client, and they'll default to, I'll think about it. But when you give them an audit, plus a landing page, plus a digital tool, an AI-powered tool that you build for them, it changes everything because the client now pays for a clear presence online, a better buying path for their customer, and a small wow they can use immediately with that AI-powered tool. You give them a live shareable page, an interactive tool, a done-for-them fast asset. And then they might even say to you, can you fix more in my life? Because this is so, so awesome. So what's inside the $300 package? There's 9 pieces. Do not let this overwhelm you. It's going to be so simple. You're going to give them a digital audit, okay? So it's all numbered here. If you see on the page, it's all numbered. First thing you're going to do once they pay you is you're going to go review their site, their social, their offer, their bio, their calls to action. And you're going to create a report essentially for them. Then you're going to get on a call with them, 20 to 30 minutes, to clarify what they're offering, who their audience is, and what their goal is. And if on this audit you couldn't figure that out, that's even more of a reason that they need to do this. Then you're going to hand them a new landing page, not a full-on crazy complicated website, but a high converting landing page that is beautiful and that runs well. And you're going to hand it to them. It's going to have the headline, the offer, the testimonials, the calls to action, the about, and the FAQ. just like most or all of the landing pages that I have that make me hundreds of thousands per website. You're going to also pair this. This is like the key hack. You're going to pair this with a simple digital tool, an AI enabled tool like a quiz, a calculator, a recommender, or an intake form. And I'll show you exactly what I mean in a moment. Then you're going to do their domain setup. And before you say, oh my gosh, I don't want to be IT, with the platform Lovable that I absolutely love and so many of my members love, it is now a push of a button, maybe 2 or 3 buttons, where when you go to publish this page that just took you 30 minutes to make, you can say, I want a custom URL, type in the custom URL. If it's available, purchase it with one button click, and then the URL is available within minutes for you to share with your client. And yes, there's some back end stuff. Hey, what if they have their own URL? What if this, that, and the other? All of that is explained. Then you're going to do this 48-hour delivery window, which is going to blow their minds. Before they can blink, you're going to have this in hand. You build it fast, but it's thoughtful. You're going to do a handoff loom. So you're not going to get on another call with them. Instead, you're going to make a video that shares your screen. And Loom is just a video platform you could use. You could use anything you want, including Zoom or others. And you could put the landing page and the AI powered tool on the page like I'm doing here with this presentation. And you just talk them through it. You don't even have to be on it if you don't want to with your face. You just talk them through it and you say, hey, okay, so I finished this for you. This is how it works. So if you notice that we use this and we use this color because of that, and when you click here, this is what happens. You just walk them through it. Maybe it's 5 minutes, maybe it's 10 minutes, maybe it's 7 minutes. And that's part of the delivery of the package. The thing you're also going to add is a next step checklist, so that they can start getting leads to that page. Meaning you just gave them an awesome page, but what else can they do to actually get people to see it? You're going to work with AI to help you give them a checklist. And then you're going to give them the option to be the host beyond a certain time. You may say, for the first full year, I'll host it because it cost me $11, which is what I just paid for my latest one on Lovable. It costs me $10 or $30 a year to do it. I'll host it. And then after the first year, you need to pay for that. Or you might say it's $25 per month for me to run maintenance on this, and that you get hosting and up to one change on the website each month. You'll decide that. Before you sell this, I want you to become your first client. This is a slide that I put in last, because I said there's no way I don't have this in here. When someone hears your offer, hear me now, the first thing they're going to do, if they're interested in the least, is look at what your presence online looks like. So you're going to make sure that when they find you or where you send them, it proves that you have your own stuff together. So you're going to first audit your own presence, run the 10-point checklist on your own site, your bio, your profiles, find the 3 to 5 things that make you look unclear. And then you're going to build that landing page for this offer if you don't already have it. So you build this page. It becomes your proof, your portfolio, your showcase, and your sales link in one. Another way of saying this is if somebody says, girl, I'm going to hook you up. I got you. I'm going to do your hair. And their hair doesn't look right. Are you going to jump to Malou to work with them? Let me know in the comments if you would jump to Malou to work with them if they look busted. Okay? And here we are. So today, your pre-work before you start selling is to audit yourself and build your own page. You're going to go into lovable.dev and you're going to build a page for yourself. Now, some people use other sites and platforms like Replit and other things. I love Lovable. It's so simple to use. Tomorrow, you're going to kick this off and start selling the offer to other people. So how do you deliver it? from paid to handed off in 48 hours. First, you're going to get paid. The client pays and fills a short intake, or you might just jump on a call with them. Then you're going to audit, quick review of their current presence. Then you're going to get on a strategy call with them once you have something to report back. Build the page, build that tool we talked about, and then there's a polish and handoff. Let me go ahead and give you the little pieces that we talked about, including the loom. So remember this, speed is part of the value of this. Most clients have been putting this off for months, and now you're about to help them out. I'm also going to tell you this. Some people watching this are going to say 300, I could never. And some people are going to say 300, I could never. That's too low. Some people will think it's too high, and some people will think it's too low. All that matters is you make a decision right now and say, do I want to have money in the bank this week? Do I want to have money in the bank this week? So I'm going to do this. I'm going to run this play. And then after I run this play and it works for me, I can then decide on different pricing. Welcome to Module 5 of Summer School, where I'm going to show you how you can use YouTube and even school to help create leads, authority, and revenue. We're going to take everything we've learned so far, and we're going to move it over to how do we get more people to see what we're doing, to know who we are, and to offer them our sales products. And this is my absolute favorite. There are multiple platforms. There's Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Substack, Threads, Twitter, X, so many. I really love YouTube, so I'm spending an entire day on it in our entire module in our summer school. So think about this as something you can do when you're wanting to have depth with your audience. You want to build. You can build this from absolute scratch, which I'll show you right now. I gained 150,000 subscribers and 5 million views from July 2024 to June 2025 on YouTube. I've published more than 500 long-form videos on my Your First Million channel, 400 plus in the past 18 months. Now that's even more today. It's more like 800 videos, 400 in the past 12 months. My brother, Rook, owns Real Life Street Stars, which has 1.4 million YouTube subscribers. He built it with his childhood friends over 15 years. You may recognize it from the blue couch and the light wall that's behind it that has been clipped more than 1 billion times. So I know what it's like to scale big on YouTube. This is my plaque that you get when you reach 100,000 subscribers. Today I'm at something like 247,000 subscribers. I will reach 250K subscribers within a week, most likely. Today we're going to talk about my channel that I started from scratch and has 560 subscribers. So we'll have one that has 250,000 subscribers almost. But we're going to talk about, more importantly, one that is a small channel. I have more than one channel. Today is about connection. You're going to learn how to use YouTube to attract aligned viewers, build trust, and send people into your school membership consistently. Now, you do not have to have a school membership, but the combination is powerful. You do not have to go viral. You're here to build recurring income and consistent income. YouTube is your best growth engine to do that, especially if you combine it with school. So this is how I built a channel called Your First 5K from scratch. I made $1,500 in 7 days when I built it, and I spent about 30 minutes per day. Since then, I've made tens of thousands of dollars on it, and I don't spend any time on it. YouTube plus school equals discovery plus monetization of that discovery. YouTube gets people to find you. School gives them a place to work with you and together. Now, with each other. You could replace the word school with something else, with Stan. You could replace it with Stan Store. You could replace it with a phone call with you. You could replace it, whatever your offer is. But this is a really good way, especially for people who are just getting started. School is a great platform to have your whole community and your checkout page. It's like having a storefront and a hangout in the same place. And it costs $9 per month. Here's what you need to get started: a Gmail account. That's how you start on YouTube. A clear niche and transformation. A few video ideas. A link to your school if you have a school account, or you can spin one up and get one. You also get 14 days free trial on school when you first start. Here's what you don't need. I'm going to tell you very frankly, you don't need a fancy camera. You do not need a studio setup. You do not need edited perfectly. Look, the word perfectly is not perfect. You see what I'm saying? I would put this video on YouTube because I don't need to be perfect. It got cut off. You do not need a viral video. Here are three types of videos that work great for this process. The first type of video that works really well is one where you teach one thing in that one video that your audience wants to learn. Second type of video that works is document your learning journey. And the third type that really works well is to interview someone who's had a win inside of your school group. Now, you see me do this, all three of these, all the time if you watch my YouTube channel, which you can go to itsaboutdamntime.com, and you'll see my YouTube channel. And these are the types of videos that I just post over and over and over again. When you start your channel, I suggest you start it with 2 to 4 videos at the very beginning where you post them all at the same time or an hour away from each other. Why do you do this? Because binge video behavior triggers the YouTube algorithm. So you will let YouTube see people watching more than one of your videos. So if they go see a video and then they click over to the next video, that's a great signal. And you can only do that if you have more than one video. So the idea, and this is not just me saying it, this is people who work at YouTube. They say post 2 to 4 videos when you first have a channel. Now be very careful not to do this all the time. Normally, what you can do is post one video per week or a few videos to seed the channel, but no more than one per day. And we're talking about long form, meaning horizontal landscape that are 8 minutes or more. Now, where do you mention your school link in this whole process? You can put it in a few places. The description of your video, every video. You can put it in your pinned comment after every video. Again, go look at my videos. Go look at itsaboutdamntime.com. See what I put in my description and my pinned comments every time. You can have it written on the screen. Sometimes I will actually write it on the screen. And you could do this in editing, or let me show you how else you can do this. If I wanted to, let's see if I can do it. If I wanted to add a different background, I could do this. Boom, now you can see my Stand Store link because I made a static picture of a background with that, probably in Canva or somewhere. And then I uploaded it to my Zoom, and now I can use it as a virtual background. And you can also verbally talk about it in the video. So you can actually say, I have a school, or I have a membership, or I have a group, or this is where you can get this lead magnet, or this guide, or this is where you can get the answers to your questions. I put it in my classroom. You can talk about it out loud. You can show it on the screen. Like show a video of you screen sharing what your school looks like. If your school name and your YouTube name match, that helps with this part. It builds trust, memory, and clicks. Doesn't have to be this case, but that's why I did a Your First 5K YouTube channel after starting my Your First 5K school membership. And when people join, a lot of times they'll say they saw that video or saw a video on there and they came directly to join. So your packaging. Packaging is one of the most important things about YouTube. It's like the most important thing because if people don't click your video, they will not watch your video. And if they don't watch your video, then they're not going to hear your message. So the packaging, think about how you want something delivered to you if it's a gift. If somebody proposed to you and they handed you a diamond ring inside of a McDonald's paper bag. So I'm not the first person to say this, but think about that image. Would you be like, I don't know if there's anything valuable in here? But if they beautifully packaged it and it was just gorgeous, wouldn't you feel treated better? Wouldn't you feel like, oh, I want to open that? That is what we're talking about when we talk about packaging. You want to have your YouTube video well packaged, and that includes the video concept. So, what's the video about? The care that was taken into putting that together. The title of the video, so it can catch my attention and tell me what I need to know. The thumbnail, which is that photo that shows up that makes me want to click. And the first few seconds of the video, which is called the hook. Now, all of these things that I'm teaching you, I'm just giving you an overview right now, but I teach it in depth a couple of places. The first place I teach it in depth is inside of our YouTube Accelerator, inside of our free Your First 5K membership. So if you go into the classroom where you are right now, go scroll down to the YouTube Accelerator. There's free information that takes you further. The second place I show you is if you are in the 360 Pass, which I'll link to below. If you're in 360 Pass, either monthly or annually, you go, there's an entire YouTube section. We also have a YouTube expert, Ty, who comes in every single week in 360 to answer your questions and take a look at your channels. It's very, very, very thorough. And the third place I talk about YouTube is inside of my 1K challenge, which I'll also link to below. Your goal is consistency, not perfection. Post 1 to 3 times per week. I would say one is fine as long as it's really good. It just post it, you know. Just keep showing up. Don't post a couple of times and stop and then come back and expect anybody to still be there. You have to be consistent. How long should my videos be? They should be as long as it takes to make the point you're making without fluff. Usually I would say at least 8 minutes because that helps with the algorithm and a bunch of other stuff. But it really needs to be as long as it takes to tell what you need to say without fluff. Should I do shorts? You could do shorts. Shorts have their place. Focus on long form. Shorts are meant to help you get a little bit more reach and recognition. They're not meant to help you make more money. They're not meant to help you become famous or go viral or sell. They can every once in a while go viral, but that is just like on Instagram and YouTube. You'd have to be really consistent about that for it to have make a dent. So if you do really well on Instagram and TikTok or either, you probably want to do shorts too. Mix them up with your long form. But your long form is where the actual income comes from, both from YouTube itself. After a while, it can pay you if you reach certain metrics, but most importantly, from that depth of people getting to know you, trust you, and like you, and buying what you have to sell them. Should I upload 20 videos I recorded in 2018? The answer is no. You're not going to upload a bunch of old stuff. This is not a Vimeo account. This is not a Google Drive. This is an intentional platform where you're going to be very specific about why you're sharing your videos. Here's some ideas. Here are some ideas to get you started. How I solved a small problem in under 10 minutes. How I did XYZ in under 10 minutes. Another one is 3 mistakes, and then you say your audience is making with blank. Behind the scenes of building my membership is a good idea. What I wish I knew before blank. Day one of building blank. And these can be tied to your membership if that helps. You also want to think of it as building in public. Give away valuable information for free. Sell the implementation, guidance, and support. So important. This makes millions of dollars for me. Look how much summer school is free. Summer school is free. What you're learning right now is free. But there's a percentage of people who are paying me money for more tools, for more guidance, for more access. I can give away as much free stuff as possible and I'll still make money. And I'll make even more because more people will be reached by my freebies. So stop worrying about giving away stuff for free. Just give it away for free. The implementation, nobody's going to go off and do stuff on their own. They're going to need your help. It's just the way it is. So you sell the implementation and support. And think of this, your school is an experience. Your thumbnail and title on YouTube are your billboard to talk about that experience. So be clear, bold, and scroll stopping. Use 0 to 5 words max on your thumbnails. Add your face. It's just optional, but that helps so much. The videos that I see do the best have your face on them because we're talking about authority and recognition. Don't over design your thumbnail. Keep it real clean. My favorite tool for thumbnails is called Pixels. Pixels. They're easy to prompt, very clean and high converting. I do most of my thumbnails on Pixels. Can you have a faceless channel? Yes, you can. I suggest being on camera, but faceless works too. So I'm going to say it again. I suggest to make the most money, to get the build the most authority over time, be on camera. But if you cannot, you simply refuse or are not able to, then you can do a faceless channel that uses slides. Like this slide, I could turn my camera off. Boom, camera's off, and now I'm just showing you the screen. I'm talking to you and walking you through stuff. You can hear my voice. That's faceless. Mention your membership like this. If this is helping so far, I go deeper inside my membership. You can try it for just $9 a month or $50 for the whole year. No pressure, just a clear next step. You could also have a freemium membership, which is a type of membership that is completely free to join, but has a stair step to upgrade like we do here in Your First 5K. So you're going to post, you're going to learn, you're going to improve from what you learn. Don't try to be perfect. Again, it does not exist. Instead, post on YouTube, see what gets views, likes, comments, retention, people watching it for a long time, and then make more of what works. You're a scientist, you're in the lab. You can only be in the lab if you have something to look at. You can only have something to look at if you post. Stop trying to be perfect. Stop trying to make it go viral. Just post so you can have some information. Please, please give it time. I say that it takes about 4 to 6 months for your YouTube channel to really start to take off. Here's a hack. Use your school community as content. As members, or sorry, ask members what they're struggling with. Use those questions as YouTube topics. Turn member wins into mini case studies with their permission. It's so, so cool. I do this all the time. So in addition to interviewing people from school, another thing I'll do is I'll see some of the comments. If there's a question, especially if it's asked more than once, I will turn that question into the whole premise of a video on YouTube because I know the people who want to be around me are asking that question. So of course, I'm going to use that content to go move forward. So this is something major you can do. YouTube feeds your school, school then feeds your YouTube. It's a feedback loop. As long as you're helping people, it works. This will not happen overnight, and there are a few key things still to learn. This is not the entirety of it all. That's why I have these other resources for you. But you now probably know more about YouTube than 99% of the world's population. And I'm not exaggerating. Here's some homework. Set up your YouTube channel, and you can just go to YouTube and ask it how to set up the YouTube channel. You can also use ChatGPT. You can also use Authority X Pro. You can also, if you are in 360 Pass, you have a YouTube OS operating system that has a section that shows you exactly how to set it up. Start creating your first 2 YouTube videos. Remember, this is a process and you're doing great. I'll see you in Module 6 next. Welcome to the sixth and final module of summer school. I hope you've been having a really good time this summer. And if you're watching this after summer, I hope this has been extremely helpful to you. In any case, no matter when you view this, do something about it. This module is going to give you so many insights. It's going to be very chock full of information. I highly recommend that you take notes and that you pause and reflect and come back and reference anytime you want. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about taking that visibility that we talked about with YouTube and other content and turning it into leads, meaning people who you can potentially make an offer to, who may become customers, and sales from those leads. And then we're going to talk about how do you scale that so that it continuously happens for you around the year. All right. So we're going to turn your leads, we're going to turn your posts into leads, your leads into buyers, and then I'm going to give you a 90-day next step. Okay. All right. So we built what we needed to build, and now we need to put that into action. We need to do something about it. If you have not watched the first 5 modules for some reason, I think you need to pause this and go watch. This is going to help you, no matter how seasoned you are, by the way. Even if you've done this a few times, believe me, it helps me. So, and I have a lot going on over here, so I think it'll help you. So we're not going to just post randomly. We're going to start capturing leads. When you post, you're not building a funnel. Posting is part of the funnel. So if you have content without capturing leads, it means that every good post is a fleeting moment instead of an opportunity to speak with the customer for years in some cases. When you just post, they don't have a reason to give you their email, so that it doesn't become a list that you own. They don't have a reason to hear from you again, so you don't have a way to have a consistent ask so that you can be on their radar consistently. And there's no follow up. So warm leads and people who are excited to see what you had to say could just turn cold in about 4 days. This is really important information to think about. So what you want to do instead is you want to build a lead magnet. You probably heard this phrase before. A call to action, which is called a CTA, a capture flow, so a method where you capture their emails and their contact information, follow-up messaging, in a weekly rhythm. This sounds like a lot of stuff, but it's actually all done pretty seamlessly once you get it set up the first time. And then you don't have to build them over and over again. So again, if this seems like a lot, just pause this right now, read through it. You have the slides as well, and just sort of imagine it, visualize what that could mean. You could even write it out as like with arrows, okay? Give me a moment here. It's being a little weird. Okay, so how do we build that? Well, start with the first part, the free lead magnet. Now, if you've done lead magnets before, you may know that you can do more than one lead magnet for sure. But if we start thinking about the 5 or 10 lead magnets we're going to build, we won't build the first one. We always try to get ahead of ourselves, it seems, right? So let's just focus on the one. We're going to focus on one free lead magnet. It's going to be for one specific problem that you can solve in under 10 minutes using that lead magnet. It's not a course, it's not your life's work, it's not the hugest thing in the world. And it can be a course, but it needs to be a mini course if so. It needs to be very 15-minute, 30 minutes most. But you could actually sell that. So this free lead magnet, the way that you get there is you pick the question you're asked most because you already know it, right? It's the one you answer for free every week. You make it a checklist or a template or an AI prompt or a short guide. So 1 page beats 1 hour, meaning faster to make, faster to use. You don't want your lead magnet to necessarily be the biggest thing in the world yet because you want someone to get a quick win. That's how you view this. If someone can get a quick win, that's more important than them thinking that you're the smartest person in the world. And then you're going to name that lead magnet after the result, not the format. Now, I'm going to tell you something that's going to sound a little contradictory, but it will help you illustrate or imagine. Your first 5K, my school membership is a lead magnet. Now it is what we're going to talk about later. It is a big, 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 big lead magnet. It's not the small one, right? But if you go into the classroom and look at any lesson, not just the module, not just the big ones that are titled, but the little lessons within them, any one of those could be a lead magnet that we're talking about, these small lead magnets. And if you notice where I say name it after the result, not the format, your first 5K, how direct is that? Your first $5,000. You're not going to, I didn't call it, well, you're going to have to go in the classroom and it's going to go to summer school and you're going to watch 4 hours. And I didn't call it all that. I call it your first 5K. So that's what you're going to call your lead magnet so that people understand it. Call it the 10-minute booking page checklist, not my free PDF, not 14 different things. And I used Lovable and I used School and all that. And then you can build it in Lovable, this small lead magnet. And you can create a one-page site with Lovable AI. Lovable.dev is how you get there. You see how we spell lovable here on the slides. Lovable.dev. And you can make, for instance, a one-page site with the checklist behind an email field. And that would take you an afternoon. And that page could be your lead magnet. It could also, because Lovable lets you collect emails, it could also be where you capture and where you have a proof asset all at once. You can also do this, and hear me when I say it, please. You can also do this very seamlessly on Stan Store, STAN Store. Stan.store is how you get there. They make it so simple to have a lead magnet. Somebody puts in their email address, and then you can email them and nurture them. I would tell you, if you have to choose between one, choose Stan first because of the way that you can do the nurture emails. It's very, very set up for that and very simple to use. Next, you're going to have one clear CTA or call to action. Say out loud CTA. Now say out loud call to action. That's what that means, okay? So the same ask every time, everywhere, because variety confuses and repetition converts. And if you see me and you're like, well, Arlan, you have a lot of different offers and products, and isn't that contradictory? There is an advanced stage where you can, after you've made several $1 million, have multiple products. And it's almost like I have various groups, and like I'm doing this times 4 or 5, right? So don't copy what I'm doing today at $5,000 a day earned. Copy what I did to get here. Okay? Yes. Okay. Now, you're going to choose one destination. So, whatever that lead magnet is, that's your call. That's where you're going to send people. So, for the next 90 days, I want you to do this. Okay? You're going to build a lead magnet and then say it the same way each time. People need to hear and ask several times before it registers. I know this from all of my launches. I will say it once, that'll get a wave of people interested. I'll say it again, I'll say it again. The 5th time is when somebody says, okay, I'll do it now. The 10th time, okay, I saw it for the 10th time. You keep doing it. You put it everywhere that it can live, anywhere that you have a presence or that you create one. Your bio, on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, wherever you are already. Your pinned posts on these different platforms. You don't have to be on every platform, but where you are, you should utilize and leverage as much as you can. Please hear me when I say that. Your video outro, including intros as well, once you get used to it. Your email signature, and at the end of every post. You may say, well, that sounds like a lot. That's a little bit like I'm being, spammy. I'm being too much. Would you prefer to be polite and not seen as cringe and broke, or to have a few people say, oh, they post so much, and the rest of the people say, I'm so glad they post because I didn't see it before, and have some money in the bank? Your decision. Then you're going to have one list capture flow, meaning one way that you're going to capture emails and it's going to be automatic. You're not going to do this manually. So you're going to have a landing page with one field. So that could be on Lovable, but I suggest if you're just getting started to use Stand Store, as I mentioned. You set up in Stand Store, hey, I want to do a capture email. They give you that option. You click on it. You upload or link to your lead magnet. So let's say your lead magnet is a PDF guide. You upload that to Stan in that section. Give it a name, give it a description, and then anybody who wants it will go to a URL and they will put their email address in. You can even ask them a couple of questions that might help you with information. And then they'll get that email to them. They'll get that lead magnet email to them. Then on your side, you'll have that email captured. Make sure you deliver it the moment they submit. That's why Stan works really well, because it instantly delivers. I mean, instantly. They get it two ways, actually. You type this in. You might have done this on some of my lead magnets on Stan. If go to my Stan store, stan.store/Arlan. Anything that's free is a lead magnet. So you know, a GPT, a custom GPT, a prompt, etc. You type in your email address. As soon as you press return, you get a link to the lead magnet, and you also get an email that's sent in case you didn't catch the link. I then immediately get your email address. And then everything lands in one list. And you can tag those lists and do different things if you want, but ultimately do the simplest version possible. What I do on Stan is I do tag because you can tag, but it's tagged because if it's a lead magnet or if it's something you purchased, I make a certain email flow. So you're going to get a certain set of emails from me depending on what the product is. You don't need to have 15 products. Have one. Have one lead magnet and have one paid offer. And have a couple of email sequences. Now, if any of this is not making too much sense to you, you can go into 360 Pass inside of your first 5K. You can go into Stan OS inside of the classroom, or 360 Pass is included. And it'll help you all with the Stan stuff. Same thing with Lovable, right? Lovable OS or the 360 Pass, or even joining the Lovable Income Challenge that I have. Any of these will help, but you want to do the simplest way. You don't want to make things too complicated, okay? So you're going to also have a follow-up sequence and a message. So you send this after they download. What I do is 1 minute or so after they download, I send them a message that says, thank you for that. I want to make sure you got it. And I may say some follow-up about what's going on, because they just got something for free. So I may say, hey, do you want to join your first 5K for free? Or do you want to, I'm doing this thing that's happening right now for the next 3 days. Do you want a piece of that? Whatever. But then you're going to have it, hey, 24 hours later, 2 days later, 3 days later, here's an email that just tells you a little bit more. So your follow-up message could be a question that you have for them. It could be something like, what was your favorite part of the lead magnet? Or what did you get out of it? Did you get a chance to use the checklist? Which piece were you most stuck on? And then you make it really easy for someone to reply, yes or no, or multiple choice. And when they do that, the cool thing about them replying is not only that they replied, so they're engaged, but it tells the email service that you have a trustworthy email. So that's really cool. And then you can offer in that nurture sequence. You could offer what you're doing. So you have the lead magnet. You're talking on YouTube. You say, hey, get my checklist for blah, 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 because you just talked about that subject. They put their email address in. At some point, either a minute or 3 days later, they get a follow-up email that says, hey, here's some more information. And at some point after that, they get a second email that says, hey, this is something that you can get from me. Because that lead magnet needed to be something that helped bridge you to them. We talked about this a lot in the 1K challenge that is available as part of 360 Pass now inside of your first 5K, we talked about being a bridge, that 1K offer being a bridge into something bigger, or that it doesn't have to cost 1K, but you're earning 1K. So it could be $27. It could be $100. Inside of your first 5K, there's a free $100 offer challenge that teaches you this. But the point of it is you're going to have a lead magnet that captures people into your ecosystem, and then you have their attention, and you can make these offers that lead them on a path and a journey with you. And then you're going to put out some weekly content. Doesn't have to be exactly this, doesn't have to be exactly for. I'll say that one more time because sometimes people take me so literally. It does not have to be exactly 4 pieces of content. This is for you to have some sort of guidance. But if you say, well, what can I post or what should I put out there week after week? This is a good way to think about it. You can teach something, one thing you know, explain simply, that's part of the topic that you're selling. You can show a result. It's always good. You see me do this all the time. I'll show someone got something from this when they used what I sell. That is a huge driver of conversion. That's a huge driver of income, is to just simply show this works. Either have an interview with them on Zoom and ask their permission and share it, or show a screenshot of them saying a testimonial, typing something. Then you can do a video or some sort of written, doesn't all have to be video. If you want to do like LinkedIn or Substack or something, if you just hate video, you could say the struggle you had before you knew this solution that you sell. So you relate with them. I used to be broke too. I used to worry about money too. I used to not have consistent revenue. I could make a rap out of this, okay? But that's the kind of content I can put out because I could tell you I relate because I used to be there. And that helps to just nurture that relationship. And it's one more opportunity to do a call to action for your free lead magnet. And then there's an ask, the who I'm looking for post. I do these with my high ticket mostly, which is like, I'm describing explicitly who you need to be aligned with this offer. Because you're going to get fewer people who interact with that kind of message, but it's going to be more of the right people. So you have your content, you have your lead magnet, you capture their email addresses, and then you send them an offer, and some small percent will pay you money. Now, what do you do in a sales conversation? Because sales is conversation. So important to know this. Sales is conversation. The time and the space between you and making a sale is between a conversation. That's what fits in that gap. So you turn warm leads, people who are interested but have not paid you, into buyers. So you can have, I'm going to show you a couple things. A DM, so direct message script. Maybe it's on Instagram, maybe it's on LinkedIn, but people are really over getting LinkedIn DMs, by the way. But Instagram DMs are really, really effective still. And I'm not talking about cold. I'm not talking about just going and badgering people. I'm talking about you put a post up about your topic. They liked it or commented on it, and you reach out to them. You can also do a Loom audio script. I'm going to show you that in a moment. Objection responses, who I'm looking for, makes the lead raise their hand. They come to you. It's like a beacon. The referral script, the follow-up sequence, the sales call outline. We'll go over them all. So the DM, the referral ask. I've talked about this before. Hey, I saw your thing. Nice work. I've been helping this type of person with this result. Is this something you're working on right now? If not, no worries. So you do a post and you're like, thanks for liking my post. Are you working on this right now? And replace the word DM with text message. Look, all of your best leads are in your warm contacts. So you could write a text to five people and say, five people you already know. Don't have to know them very well, but you know them. And you could say, hey, I'm working on this. Do you know anyone who could use this? Do you know anyone who could use this? That's like a magic question. Another thing you could do is an audit. You don't have to do all of these, by the way. These are just ideas. Another thing you could do is an audit, and we do this a lot with the lovable work that we do. So you could pop on Zoom or Loom and press record and share the screen and show their stuff. Like, let's say somebody, we talk about this audit with Lovable, where you go to their website and you just go through the website and you're very kind, but you're not mean about it, but you're like, hey, so I'm looking at your website and I think there's a couple of things here that would make it more convertible or higher conversions, or I think this may be a little confusing to the people who land on it, and I think you're missing out on customers here or opportunity here. And you do an audit and you take them through a couple of things you would change. The first thing I'd fix is this. I might do this. And then you could send it to them. And then you could say, do you want me to do this for you? Again, the funds are in the follow-up, okay? When I do like a webinar or if I do a video launch or something like that, I'll get a lot of sales up front. I've earned that, earned a lot of trust of like, yeah, Arlan's doing it, it's probably good. But I'll get more in the follow-up, more in the let me do more videos about this, more in the hey, I saw you were interested DMs, right? That is where the funds are, the follow-up sequence. Now, here are a couple of things or a few things that people say all the time and the way that you could handle it. What if they say it's too expensive? You could say, that's fair. What would it need to be worth for the number to make sense? Because you're not going to say, oh, I'll make it lower. That's not happening. But you could say, oh, that's fair. What would it need to do for it to make sense? Because they're saying the value to me does not match the price. That's different than I can't afford it. If they say it's too expensive, they're saying the value doesn't match the price to you. So you say, okay, well, that's fair. What would it need to be to make it sense? Then that opens up, you like listen hard to what they say, because they may say, actually, I just can't afford it. Then that's a conversation you can have. Okay, maybe there's a different version of it that has it's less cost, but you don't get as much. Or maybe, hey, you know what? Actually, I do use a firm. I use PayPal Pay Later. I use Klarna. There's a payment option, the third party. I don't do it in-house, but it's third party. Maybe that'll work for you. You have these conversations and make people say what they really mean instead of like what they're kind of trained to say. What if they say, I need to think about it? That happens to me all the time. I think I'm going to think about it for a couple of days. Okay. What's the part you're going to think about? I don't want you to have to guess. So I can just kind of tell you if you're having, because sometimes people will not ask a question. Either they don't want to seem like they're not hip or dumb, like they are dumb, or they don't know what to ask. They don't know what is unsettling to them or what is that. And a lot of times people will just not want to be manipulated or made a fool. So they will not say, yeah, right away, because they don't know the situation well enough. They don't know you well enough to know you would never do that to them. So you pull it out of them. You're not going to force them to still pay for it. Like if somebody says, I want to sleep on it, or I usually take 24 hours before I make a big decision like this. I respect that. I say, okay. But just before you do that, what are you going to be thinking about? So I can answer those questions ahead of time so that they're not making something up and talking themselves out of it. You see, you're not manipulating them. You're not coercing them. You're just simply making it easier for them to say yes. What if they say now's not the right time? And then you say, well, what would need to be true for it to be the right time? Like, what about this would need to be true in your life or in the offer for it to be the right time? Because again, you're listening for their follow-up is where the real answer is. What's really going on. I could do this by myself. You absolutely could. The question is whether you will in the next 30 days. Because if they're on the phone with you or if they're having a DM with you, they know something isn't working the way it's working right now. And again, you don't want to spend too much time trying to convince somebody that they should have this. If you have to convince them, then it's probably not the right thing for them. But you want to illuminate why it is the right thing for them and let them decide. So if you have a sales call, which I highly recommend having calls with people early on when you're not making a lot of money, if you can get on several Zoom calls or phone calls or in-person meetings, you're going to do better than the person who's not. This is a something that you can control. You're going to say, "Hey, do you want to jump on a call? I can help you out with something." Or, "Do you want to jump on a call? We can talk about it." You ask them what made them reply, like why they want to be here. You get the current idea of what's going on in their lives and what it's cost them. You find out what they want. Like where's the pain? What is missing from their lives that they want? And just have them reiterate their own pain so they can see it. And then you say what you do, or you say what the solution is, and you say it but with conviction. So you listen to them. If you listen to them and you don't think you can help them, don't lie to them. You find out where things are now, what they've tried before, what's not working, and you say, "Oh yeah, I can help them." And then you tell them, "Oh yeah, I can help them. I can help you." And then you let them know how much it costs, and you let them have a response to that. Okay, this is a very, very quick slide to tell you things that people pay 20,000 or more to learn and takes years to learn very well. But honestly, if you can get 50 or 60% of this, you are off to the races. Okay? And then you're going to scale what works, meaning grow or do more of what has worked. This is why while you're working on modules 1 through 6, you need to take documentation. Write down how many calls you had, how many DMs, how many things that you send out, how many posts. Have a documentation of what you're doing, what made money, what got the most replies, etc. Because if you can measure it, then you can do something about it. So you're going to find the best of the best. What was the best content? What did better? It may be views, or it may be comments or likes, or the number of follow-up messages you had, or even sales. So if you have 2 videos and one video gets 1,000 views but no sales, and the other video gets 100 views and a sale, the one that got the 100 views is the one I'm paying attention to. That's the one that needs to be replicated, studied, and dissected. Why did that work that way? The one that got the more views probably feels better, adrenaline rush. Woo, I get more visibility. But the one that got the 100, that got the sale is the one that's going to keep you fed. That's the one that's the one that's going to be like, "Oh, that angle, something about that worked." Usually that happens when you interview somebody who it's worked for before. You don't get as many views because you're not necessarily teaching, but the views you do get are impressed enough that they're like, "Yeah, I'm going to give this a try." You see all these little gems I'm dropping for you? This is super, super important. So you're going to also look at the best lead source. Where did the real ones come from? Like those videos, but also the platform. You could post all day long on Instagram and all day long on LinkedIn and all day long on YouTube. But if only 1 or 2 of them works, get rid of the other one. The other one doesn't have as much importance and import. Also, the best offer angle. What framing got you the fastest yes? When you get a sale, please, while you're celebrating, also take note of what happened so you can reverse engineer. What happened? And you can even ask the person, "Hey, where did you see me first?" Or what made you, you can ask them on the side, "Hey, I would really love more people to join. What made you decide to join?" I do this all the time. The best sales message, what words closed it, the best proof asset, what result is the most impressive. Like, for instance, I have a ton of videos about your first 5K and the success that people have had with it. It's a free membership. Come on in, right? I've had a ton of videos. And then you can upgrade for money. And that's the business model. There are certain interviews that have brought more people in because they just happen to be more compelling to the group that I serve. It's not to say that the other ones were not as interesting or great. It just means there's something about that story, something about what that person says and represents that reaches the right messaging for the right group. And because I study this, I know which ones those are. So not only can I continue running those and pointing to those, but I can make more like them. And then what is your best lovable asset? Now, if you started using Lovable, you know I love Lovable, have more than 600, as of now, 600 projects on it. I have my Lovable Income Challenge, which is an evergreen challenge you can jump into. And you can create these lead magnets. Now, I talked about using StanStore to deliver the lead magnets, but you can actually create the lead magnets on Lovable. And so what I do is I do one of the two. So I'll tell you a couple ways. I might make a lead magnet on Lovable, like a prompt or some sort of calculator or something. And then I will upload it to StanStore and use StanStore's email nurture, which you have to have, by the way, the $100 a month StanStore to use their email nurture. So hopefully you made it to this part. Another way you could do it is you just have a Lovable page, which is a lead magnet, and it takes your emails. It's just you don't have as much freedom to send emails to people because it's considered transactional. So there's a couple ways to do it. I have all kinds of information inside of your first 5K that teaches you about this, all kinds of things inside of Lovable, income challenge, inside of 360 Pass, inside of our Authority X Pro, multiple ways for you to learn more and dive deeper than this special free summer school. Now, let's talk about scaling and what you do after you make several sales. You've made some money. Let's say you've made 5,000, you made 10,000, 20,000. Let me show you what your options are. You could go ahead and raise the price because you've already tried it. Like, let's say you're selling Lovable pages for $300. You sold 3 of them. Look, I'm going to make it 500 now, right? Same offer, higher number. You do this, you make this decision after you've sold it a few times to see how it is, right? You see the value. Another option is to launch it again. You know it works, so run it back. You can always relaunch. Always relaunch. You could turn it into a school or community, recurring, not just one time. So you could have a monthly recurring revenue inside of a school, and it's just the same offer, but it's presented with this container. And these are just options, right? You can choose one as it says here. Another way to do it is to train others. So let's see the thing that you just did manually and you did it for people, you create a course around it and you sell that course. If you sell a $99 product 2 times a day, that's $72,000 a year. If you sell a $199 product 1 time a day, that's $72,000 a year. That replaces the salaries of more than 80% of US Americans, or US Americans. Or you could sell client services. So let's say you were not doing a service. Maybe you were doing some coaching or you had a product. You could turn it flip side into a service. Let me go ahead and just do that for you. Remember, we do the teach, show, do. It could be taught, it could be a course, it could be something you show, which is like a workshop or a one-on-one call or a VIP day, or do. I'm just going to do it for you. Or you could build a premium offer based on it. So it's fewer people paying more money for deeper work. I've done all 6 of these, and I'm currently doing all 6 of them right now. But you choose one, and that elevates what you do. There's only a few people who made it to this part of the video. Only a few people who made it to this part. You are here for a reason. You are here in this time and space for a reason. Please do something about this. Please don't let another day go by where you're studying and not earning.